Hello, this is Mr. Abbott. Today we'll be talking about solving systems of linear inequalities. We have been talking about systems of equations. Those are the ones with equal signs. Inequalities, remember the ones with the greater than, less than, greater than, equal to, less than, equal to sign. If you've forgotten about those, you can go to page 328 to 334 in your book and get a quick little reminder about how to graph them. Because we're going to briefly talk about that, but that's not our focus today. You can see two examples of the types. Hopefully that stirs your memories. Something that you need to remember is that when we're graphing with an inequality, we have two different types of line depending on whether or not the line is included as part of the solution. If we have greater than or less than where it's not included, then our line is dashed. If we have greater than or equal to or less than or equal to where the line is part of the solution, we have a solid line. To the right here, you can see that we also have to shade in our solutions because it's not just the points on the line, it's many points. If we have greater than or equal to, you're going to be shading above the line. And here's the line. You can kind of see that we're shading above, going that way. For less than or equal to, we're going to be shading below. And you can see the line again here. So we're shading that way. Okay, those are very important that you keep in mind. They allow you to see the graph and pick up some information about it very quickly. One thing we want to talk about today that we haven't talked about before is how to graph on the calculator. We never really talked about it before when we were doing this, but at this point, it's much faster, much easier. We need to do that. Like before, you still go to y equals, but then you have a couple of new things to do. You type your equation like normal, but then when you want to actually shade it, you want to go to the far left side, and I'll show you an example of it here in a minute. You're going to click enter until the icon becomes one of these, either a triangle pointing up, which is shading above, or a triangle shading down, or pointing down, which is shading below. And what you will have to do is decide which one you need before you get into it. But let's take a look at it. All right, we're going to go to y equals just like normal, and let's go ahead and graph y is less than negative 3x. So we'll type in negative 3x plus 5. But we want to do less than. So we want to move to the far left. You can see my icon moving there. I get to the equal sign, and then now it still looks like I'm on the equal sign, but you can see the icon here to the far left is blinking. When you get to that point, you know you're at the right spot. You want to hit enter, and notice as I hit enter, that icon changes. Now it's a thick line. Now it's pointing up and down. Now I've got other things. We're just going to cycle through it, go back to where we started. Okay. If we want to do y is less than, that means it's shading down. So we want to click it a couple times. That's up. There we go, to down. Okay. Now what that means is it's going to graph this line, but it's going to shade down. So if we go to graph, here we go. Y equals negative 3x plus 5. We've got our line there. Y equals negative 3x. We have everything shaded below it. Okay. Now you can't necessarily see a dotted line or a solid line. So again, the calculator gives you most information, but doesn't give you all the information that you need. Clear that out. Okay, so make sure you get this information. You can try when you get to class if you don't have a calculator at home. It's very simple to do. Everything's the same except you just have to go to the far left and click on that icon. All right, so let's try a couple. The first one we're going to look at is y is greater than 2x plus 3 and y is less than negative x minus 1. The first graph we have is for y is greater than 2x plus 3. Shaded above, we have a dashed line for 2x plus 3. Our second line, y is less than negative x minus 1, also has a dashed line and shaded below. So we have two different things. Now, what in blue, those are all the solutions for the first inequality. In red, we have all the solutions for the second inequality. What we're looking for is the solutions for both. Just like before when we did an equation, we looked for that one solution point. Well, here there's not one point, there's many, and that's what we're looking for. We're looking for the combination of the two. And as you can see here, on the second one, where I put them together, we graph them both. We have a blue area going this way. We have a red area going this way. And this area in between that should show up kind of purple That is our solution. There's still a lot of points, but any point inside that darker area will be a solution. So we can pick out many points. We could pick out -8, 0. We could say -10, 5. They're all going to be solutions. That means they'll all work for both of the inequalities. Okay, we can check them both. If we tried -8, 0, we would have 0 is greater than -16 plus 3, and that is true. So you can see it's going to work for, in this particular one. Okay, let's try the second one. I have y is greater than or equal to 1/2 x minus 5. And the graph looks like this. It's shaded above. The line is solid. Our second one, y is greater than -3x plus 1. Here we have a dashed line shaded above, and we have -3x plus 1. And then you can see that when we combine the two, put them together, we have our red one going up and to the right, we have our blue one going up, and it's this area in here that is our solution. Again, that means any point in that darker shaded area will make this a true statement. So we could say 2, 4, or 8, 7, or 3, -2. Any of those points, you can see them here, any of these points would be true statements. And that's what we're looking for. They're all possibilities. They all make both of those equations true. Finally, our last example, we have x is greater than or equal to 7 and y is less than or equal to 3. Now, I put those on there because these two equations are very tricky for us. We always forget which is which, so at this point, you have them in your notes. The first one, x is greater than or equal to -7, is actually the one on the right. Because remember, if we have x equals, that's a vertical line. So it looks like that. If we have y equals, it's a horizontal line. So for y is less than 3, it's shaded below. For x is greater than 7, it's shaded to the right. If we put them together, we look for the combination, and that's going to be all this area in here, shaded below and to the right. So again, any one of those 3 points, or any point in that area, such as 9, 2, or 10, -7, or remember, we can keep going. How about 43, -84? That would be a true statement. That would be a solution. So solving inequalities is very simple. We graph the two inequalities together. We look for the area that they have in common. Okay. Finally, in conclusion, as I just said, you graph the inequalities separately. Be sure to shade each one. Now I did them both on separate graphs. You'll shade them on the same graph. But then you look for what they have in common. After you've shaded, you find the area that they both have, and any point inside that common area is going to be a solution. Before you come to class, please try a few of these. They don't have to be perfect, but I want you to get an idea of it. If you have a calculator, great. If you have a calculator on your computer that you can use, that's fine too. Even if you have to just sketch it, and I do mean you can just sketch the graph, but get an idea of what we're doing here, so when you come to class, it'll be very simple for you. You can go to page 337, and you can try number 3, 7, and 13. Remember, the answers are in the back of the book. Go through them. If you get them all, great. It should help you. And if you come in and you've got all those down, one, you'll be able to finish your assignment pretty easily, and I might try to find you some extra credit. So enjoy, and we'll see you in class.